Good morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning daily news source only here at Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune page on YouTube, and at Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For today's headlines, PNP Chief General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. on Monday said proper coordination and institutional courtesy were observed in the implementation of the arrest warrant against controversial contractor Pacificio Curly Discaya. A powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck southern Mindanao on Monday morning, sending terrified residents rushing out of homes, schools, offices, and malls as the violent shaking toppled buildings and snapped power lines. Malacanang Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro dismissed the testimonies of the 18 so-called ex-Marines as heroes' testimonies as basura. President Marcos publicly acknowledged Senator Sherwin Gatchalian as Senate President during Independence Day events in Manila, as he urged Filipinos to uphold unity, integrity, and national responsibility. Vice President Sara Duterte warned that corruption remains a major threat to the Philippine freedom, saying misuse of public funds deprives citizens of essential services and urging accountability and good governance. Wholesale electricity prices jumped nearly 39% in May as rising demand and power plant outages tightened supply across the country. Fuel prices may see mixed adjustment next week, with diesel expected to drop by up to 4 pesos per liter, while gasoline could rise up by to 1 peso amid global supply and demand shifts. Alex Ayala raised her first trophy of the season and lifted a curse that was haunted her for the past several years. Gilas Pilipinas Youth demolished Vietnam 121-28 to kick off its final in the FIBA U18 Asia Cup SIBA qualifiers at the Changpo Gym in Krabi, Thailand on Wednesday. Taylor Swift has become the youngest inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame at 36, recognized for her songwriting impact and multi-genre success across 20-year career. Today is the 13th day of June 2026, Saturday, and I'm Kate Villar bringing you today's top stories. Let's get started. The Philippine National Police Chief General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. on Monday said proper coordination and institutional courtesy were observed in the implementation of the arrest warrant against controversial contractor Pacifico Curly Discaya. Nartates said a sufficient number of police personnel were deployed to the Senate to serve the arrest warrant issued by a Bulacan Regional Trial Court in connection with the controversial flood control project. Discaya was under Senate custody after being cited in contempt during a hearing on the flood control controversy, making coordination with the chamber necessary. A powerful magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck southern Mindanao on Monday morning, sending terrified residents rushing out of their homes, schools, offices, and malls as the violent shaking toppled buildings and snapped power lines. The death toll from the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that struck southern Mindanao has climbed to 55, according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Authorities also reported that more than 1,120 people were injured, while 31 remain missing. Search, rescue, and retrieval operations continue in the hardest-hit communities as responders work to locate those still unaccounted for. Meanwhile, government agencies and humanitarian groups are appealing for assistance to support affected families and communities recovering from the disaster. Malacanang Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro dismissed the testimonies of the 18 so-called ex-Marines as heroes' testimonies as basura. Castro pointed out to several inconsistencies in the affidavit of the 18, including the removal of Senator Lauren Legarda's name due to an alleged error, and the inclusion of Representative Laila de Lima in the list of officials who supposedly received luggage filled with cash, even though she was not a lawmaker at the time. These kinds of changing statements will not withstand careful court scrutiny, Castro said. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. also publicly recognized Senator Sherwin Gatchalian as Senate President for the first time during the 128th Independence Day celebration at the Carino Grandstand in Manila. The President acknowledged Gatchalian during the program and later greeted him during the wreath-laying ceremony at the Rizal Monument. In his Independence Day address, Marcos urged Filipinos to continue loving, choosing, and fighting for the country, stressing the importance of unity, integrity, and shared responsibility in overcoming national challenges and securing a better future for the next generation.
And the honorable members of the House of Representatives, Senate President Pro Tem Sherwin Gatchalian, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte marked the 128th Independence Day by warning that corruption remains a major threat to Philippine sovereignty and freedom. Speaking in Davao City, Duterte said public officials who misuse government funds deprive Filipinos of essential services, opportunities, and hope. She stressed that every peso lost to corruption affects education, healthcare, and development projects. Drawing lessons from the country's struggle for independence, Duterte urged Filipinos to stand for truth, accountability, and good governance, saying freedom must be protected not only from foreign threats, but also from abuses within government. Wholesale electricity prices rose by nearly 39% in May due to stronger power demands and widespread plant outages. Data from the Independent Electricity Market Operator of the Philippines showed average spot market prices climbed to 7.79 per kilowatt hour from 5.63 in April. Demand increased faster than available supply, resulting in tighter reserve margins across the country's major grids. The higher prices also pushed the total value of electricity traded in the spot market to 29.55 billion pesos. Motorists may see mixed fuel price adjustment next week, with diesel expected to post a significant rollback, while gasoline prices could increase anew. Based on market estimates, diesel prices may drop by as much as 4 pesos per liter due to improving supply conditions and easing prices in the middle distillates. Meanwhile, gasoline could rise by 50 centavos to 1 peso per liter amid tightening global inventories and sustained demand. Industry players also noted that ongoing tensions in the Middle East continue to influence global oil prices and market sentiment. Alex Ayala raised her first trophy of the season and lifted a curse that has haunted her for the past several years. Ayala rallied past up-and-comings Czech Nikola 5-7, 6-3, and 7-5 to win the WTA 125 Birmingham Open on Sunday night. The 21-year-old Ayala won her second WTA crown after ruling the Guadalajara 125 Open in Mexico last September. Gilas Pilipinas Youth demolished Vietnam 121-28 to kick off its final campaign in the FIBA U18 Asia Cup SIBA qualifiers at the Changkampo Gym in Krabi, Thailand on Wednesday. University of the East standout Ethan Aguas fired 19 points and 6 rebounds for Gilas Pilipinas, which posted its first win in this event that serves as the qualifier to the FIBA U18 Asia Cup in Hamabed, India from 13 to 23 August. Pop superstar Taylor Swift has become the youngest woman ever inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame at age 36, marking another milestone in her record-breaking career. Swift became eligible 20 years after releasing her debut single Tim McGraw in 2006, The 14-time Grammy winner has released 12 albums across multiple genres and remains one of the best-selling artists in the world. Hall of Fame organizers praised her for versatility and songwriting excellence, while fellow music icons were also honored during the induction ceremony in New York. That's all for now. Join us again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Still here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune page on YouTube, and at Daily Tribune official on TikTok. Also, catch the diva that you love, Alwin Ignacio and Ultra Maldita Alex Brosas later and tomorrow 4 p.m. for DTT show on the Diario Tirada Facebook page and YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Kate Villar and this has been Tribune News on Cue.